My wife got in a drunk driving accident while she was in the hospital. I found out about her 6-month affair, left her there, took everything, and filed for divorce. Yesterday, I got a call that turned my whole world upside down. The hospital rang to say my wife, Andrea, she's 29, had been in a car accident. It was a 35-minute drive, and the whole time, all I could do was pray. I just kept repeating, please let her be okay. When I arrived at the ER, I found her on a stretcher, being treated. The sight of her alive, breathing, brought a wave of relief. The nurse assured me it wasn't life-threatening. I exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. She handed me Andrea's phone and her personal stuff. I asked how it happened, but the nurse said they didn't have all the facts yet, only that the police had been notified and were checking the car. Soon after, a couple of officers showed up and gave me a preliminary report. What I read floored me. Andrea had been drinking. She slammed into a parked vehicle, lost control, and ended up on a sidewalk. By some miracle, she didn't veer into the opposite lane. If she had, I might have lost her for good. But something didn't sit right with me. First off, she wasn't even supposed to be anywhere near that area. It was a Wednesday afternoon, she should have been at work, not 25 miles from home. And what was she doing drunk in the middle of the day? The officers let me see the dashcam footage. It showed loud music blasting in the car and Andrea driving recklessly. Her blood work confirmed the alcohol in her system. The cops questioned me for a while, nearly an hour, trying to figure out if she was upset, maybe depressed, or if we'd had a fight that pushed her to drink and drive. I had to pull up our texts from the previous day. That morning, she'd messaged me asking if I'd be coming home later than usual. I said maybe, but I'd let her know. She ended the chat with a love you and a heart emoji. No calls. Nothing that would explain a breakdown. They kept grilling me, asking what she was doing in that part of town. I honestly had no clue. At first, they were skeptical, but after some back and forth, they dropped it. I was free to see her. When I walked into her room, I gently held her and tried to comfort her. She was drifting in and out of consciousness. But the very first thing she asked, barely even awake, was, "Where's my phone?" That hit me like a slap. She was still under anesthesia, in pain, and the only thing on her mind was her phone? I lied. Told her the hospital had it. She looked relieved, which made my stomach twist even harder. My head was already spinning from everything I'd learned, but that one question only raised more red flags. I held her until she drifted off again, but I couldn't stop thinking about what was really going on. I reached into her bag, the one the nurse had handed me, and pulled out her phone. It was dead. I plugged it into my power bank and waited. As soon as it powered on, it started blowing up with messages and calls. I quickly silenced it, but one chat kept pinging over and over. I couldn't see the messages on the lock screen. Then a call came in 5 times in a row from a contact saved as Corner House. Now, here's the thing, Corner House is a small takeout joint on our street. We've ordered from them plenty of times. But why would the restaurant be calling Andrea over and over, especially so late? I stared at the screen for a while, trying to decide what to do. I'm not the kind of guy who spies on his wife. I never wanted to be. But after everything that happened, I couldn't ignore the signs anymore. So I did something I never imagined I'd do. I unlocked her phone using her fingerprint. She was out cold, still doped up on meds. I sat there next to her bed the entire night, and what I found destroyed me. That Corner House number? Yeah, it wasn't the restaurant. She had saved someone's number under that name to cover her tracks. Smart move. If I'd seen a call or text from Corner House while we were at home, I'd have thought nothing of it. But Andrea had been cheating on me. For at least 6 months, maybe longer. I checked the number on my phone. It wasn't saved, so I ran it through a caller ID app. The name that popped up? Kevin. I don't know anyone named Kevin. There's no easy way to say this, their chat history was disgusting. I went through months of texts, and what I read made me physically sick. She mocked me. Made fun of how I performed in bed. Said I lasted a blink and that she faked her orgasms to keep me happy. She told him how good he made her feel. How she wanted him. They met up once or twice a week, sometimes more. They had a spot, a place where they'd hook up. And the accident? It happened while she was on her way back from one of those visits. That's why she was drunk. That's why she was asking about her phone the moment she could speak. And knowing Andrea, I realized something else. She likes to drink when she's about to sleep with someone. I used to think that was just her thing with me. I was wrong. Their conversations didn't stop. She was texting him in the middle of the night, during work hours, even when she was out with me. The last time they were together was just the day before, when we were watching a movie at home. She was cuddled up with me, we kissed, we made out. And now I wonder, was she picturing him the entire time? We had what I thought was a good marriage. Date nights. Trips. We'd talk each other to sleep. We were intimate twice a week, not sure if that's normal or not, but it felt fine to me. I never thought it was an issue. She never brought it up. If she had, maybe we could have worked on it together. I thought we were open with each other. Honest. But clearly, I was wrong. I checked her social media, nothing. No sign of him there. All their communication was through calls and messages. I don't even know who this guy really is, just his name. I've been up all night. I feel sick, dizzy. But I can't sleep. The anger won't let me. Part of me wants to drag this Kevin guy into the hospital and beat him senseless. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I can't stay here. I need to get out. Update 1: I walked out of that hospital. Left Andrea behind. Tossed her phone in the trash. Packed up her things and dumped them on the porch. I'm done. I did a few more things after leaving the hospital, but I'll get to that. First, I went home, though I couldn't settle down. I felt like I was crawling out of my skin, angry, hurt, restless. Andrea's phone kept buzzing nonstop with messages and calls from that piece of trash she was cheating with. The guy was clearly panicking because she wasn't responding. So, I decided to take care of that first. I opened up her phone, pretending to be Andrea, and started texting him back. Here's how it went down. Corner house equals AP. Me, stop calling and texting me. I'm done with you. Him, wait, what? Why? What's going on? Did I do something wrong? Him again, are you mad because I didn't stay longer? I swear I'll make it up next time. We'll spend the entire day together. Him, why won't you answer me? Please, just talk to me. Me, I'm never seeing you again. Don't contact me. Him, can we talk in person? How about I pick you up from work? I'll tell Connie I'm working late. Him, is this because my divorce isn't finalized yet? I told you, I'm filing this month. I'll push the papers through. Me, don't even bother. I don't enjoy being with you anymore. You were nothing but a toy to me. I've met someone new, he's cuter and actually lasts longer. Him, what the hell? Are you serious? Me, dead serious. I'm going out with him tonight. Him, don't do this. You know I love you. Me, send me one more message, and I'll tell your wife everything. Then the messages stopped cold. After that little victory, I went into her work email and typed up a resignation letter to her manager, asking for an immediate release. The manager replied, asking for a reason. So I fired back, pretending to be Andrea, saying I was fed up with the toxic work environment and that he, a male manager, was a creep always trying to grope the women. I added that if he didn't approve my resignation right away, I'd report everything to corporate. He accepted it within minutes. Funny enough, all those times I listened to Andrea rant about her job actually paid off here. So now, she's out of a job and dumped by her lover. Not my problem. Then I grabbed her credit card and drained every cent from it. After that, I destroyed everything she might need, her ID cards, passport, bank documents, you name it. Burned the lot and flushed the ashes. If she wants those back, she'll have to dig through a sewer and piece them together. Good luck with that. It's going to take her months, maybe even longer, to get replacements from the government. And here's the kicker, she's going to be stuck in that hospital for a bit. She has no insurance info on her, no money, no ID. When she wakes up from anesthesia, she'll find out I'm long gone. Nobody knows she's there. Her family? They're 5 hours away. And her friends? We'll see if they show up for her. Feeling a bit more satisfied, I packed all her stuff, clothes, shoes, accessories, and dumped them outside the house. While I was doing that, the hospital called. The doctor wanted to go over the discharge plan. I asked when they were planning to let her go. They said tomorrow. I told them I'd be there, just had a few things to handle. They mentioned that if I couldn't come, they might keep her another day. I told them that was fine, one more day won't kill her. A few hours later, the phone rang again. This time, it was Andrea herself. She asked me to come visit. I put on my fake husband voice and told her I'd just gone home to shower and would be there in an hour. Right after that, I called the hospital back and told them not to let Andrea call anyone else. Told them she needed rest, poor thing. They agreed and said they'd alert the nurses. Throughout the day, I kept getting calls from the duty nurse. Apparently, Andrea was anxious and kept asking when I'd show up. At first, I thought about ghosting them completely. But then I realized if I did that, she might start calling other people. So instead, I stalled. Kept saying I was coming. Kept her hoping. Next on the list is changing the house locks. I'm also meeting a lawyer tomorrow to figure out how I can end this marriage clean, without giving her a dime. Update 2. What a whirlwind. I dragged this out with the hospital for 2 days, kept dodging calls, giving excuses. Said I was out of town, busy, whatever. But they started catching on. Her phone was missing, and I told her it was with the nurse. But the nurse would have told her by now it wasn't. Andrea probably pieced it all together. She knows me, knows I wouldn't abandon her like this without a real reason. And now, she must realize I found out everything. Before I finally cut off contact with the hospital, I made sure to back up all the proof screenshots, messages, everything, and shared it with my lawyer. Just in case Andrea or the hospital tried to drag me into something legally. Eventually, Andrea called her parents. When they figured out what was happening, they drove straight to my place, angry as hell, yelling at me for leaving their daughter in a hospital bed and not informing them. I let them get it all out. I stood there calmly and then showed them the messages. The explicit ones. The ones where their darling daughter was bragging about her secret life with another man. Their tone changed real fast. Suddenly they were like, "We're sorry. What she did was awful. But now's not the time for revenge, she needs you." Oh, really? I reminded them that I made vows, sure. But so did Andrea. She vowed to be faithful. She vowed to stand by me. So where were those vows when she was drunk and cheating on me with some guy behind my back? They didn't have a response to that. They got pissed at me for not backing down and started threatening to take me to court. Let them try. When her parents were leaving, I told them straight up, "Take her trash with you. My house isn't a dumping ground for her or her filthy baggage." They cursed me out, grabbed her things, and left. I'm guessing they took Andrea with them while she recovers. According to the latest update from my lawyer, the divorce papers are being sent to her this week. We're filing based on infidelity, backed by the messages from her phone. My lawyer even put together a case showing how she and her affair partner were planning to screw me over financially. Everything I've done up to this point has been to protect myself, not to hurt her, at least, that's how it's laid out legally. So far, so good. Update 3. The divorce papers were delivered. And just like I expected, Andrea lost it. She's still stuck in a cast, barely mobile, and yet she found the energy to send me dozens, maybe hundreds, of voice messages. Some full of threats, others dripping with rage, and a few where she was actually begging to meet. I didn't answer a single one. Then came an email, her tone had changed. She was threatening to sue me for wrecking her personal documents, maxing out her credit card, and forging her resignation at work. I fired back one line, "Sure, go ahead if you've got the time, money, and legal team to drag this out." I reminded her how long it would take to prove anything. Told her, "You've got no job, no savings, and if you try to sue me, I'll counterclaim for humiliation and infidelity, charges I actually have evidence for." That shut her up. The threats and begging stopped. But she still didn't sign. Instead, she reached out to my lawyer and said she wanted to meet before deciding what to do. My lawyer advised me to agree, but only under strict conditions: public place, no promises, no emotional breakdowns, and absolutely no touching. We'd record everything just in case she tried to twist the narrative later. My lawyer offered to be on the call during the meeting, or even come with me, but I said I could handle it alone. So I went. I arrived early, started the recording, and waited for her to speak first. Andrea began with, "You played it smart. You destroyed me, and it worked. I've got nothing, no job, no money, and no man." Then she paused. I asked her straight out, "So you're mad I chased your little side piece away?" She shrugged and said, "No, he was a loser. I was planning to drop him anyway." That response made me laugh, like, really laugh. And to my surprise, she chuckled too. For a second, it was like we were back in the old days, before all this happened, when we used to joke about guys hitting on her and laugh at their pickup lines. But now the joke was on me. I was the one who got picked and played. Then she looked at me, eyes full of tears, and asked, "Why are you doing this to me?" And I asked her back, "Why did you cheat when everything was going fine between us?" She didn't answer. Just said it was for fun, that it didn't mean anything. She called AP a sleazeball and swore it was never serious. I looked at her and said, "Then I must be an even bigger idiot for sitting here, talking to the woman who slept with someone else behind my back." She tried to wave it off, told me to move on and let it go. I said, "I'm being civil, but don't get it twisted, I'm not letting you back into my life. You broke something I can't fix. You humiliated me. You made fun of me. You told him how I wasn't enough in bed, how I barely did anything for you." Tears burned in my eyes as I spoke. Andrea reached out to hold my hand, sobbing, but I pulled away and snapped, "Don't touch me." She recoiled. I wiped my face and told her the truth. No matter how much I wanted to forgive her, I couldn't erase the image of her giving our intimacy away and laughing about it. Every time I kissed her or touched her now, I'd remember those texts. That shame. That betrayal. I told her I didn't just lose her, I lost my confidence. Even if I meet someone new, I'll always wonder, what if she thinks I'm not enough too? She cried harder and swore she never meant the things she told AP. That she only said them to keep him interested. She said I was enough. That she never loved him, only me. That she was weak, distracted, foolish. Then she begged me to trust her again. I looked at her and said, "Trust you? Never again." She kept pleading, promising to be loyal, that she'd never look at another man again. I asked her, "Didn't you say those exact words at the altar? And yet you still went behind my back." That broke her. She finally gave up, reached into her bag, pulled out the divorce papers, and signed them, her hands shaking. She handed them over and looked me in the eyes, both of us silently crying. All the anger I'd carried was leaking out as raw pain. This was it. The end. We had known each other for over a decade. I tried to lighten the mood, just a little, and asked, "So, are you running back to AP now?" She laughed bitterly and said, "No. He doesn't want me either. Said he's not throwing away his marriage for some flicky woman." Ouch. Then, softer, she added, "Well, you got what you wanted. You ruined me. I've lost everything. I guess I deserved it." We didn't hug. No goodbyes. I just stood up and walked away. Driving home, I was deep in my own thoughts. I kept wondering, did I go too far? Was it wrong to hit back this hard? I don't know. Maybe it's just too early to tell. Maybe the pain is still too fresh. What I do know is this: I was a married man just a few months ago. And now, I'm not. I'm divorced.